You're listening to the 412 podcast from FBC Mustang in Mustang, Oklahoma, where we take you behind the scenes as we equip the saints for the work of the ministry. I'm Jeremy Davis, your host. Let's get started. What is it that you're looking forward to the most?
Great chance to get to know people better.
It is an absolute madhouse.
I try to find a place with good salads.
So 3 sermons a day.
I never did youth ministry, mainly because I'm scared.
It feels good up here.
We run to the woods thinking, Lord, take my life. I'm done.
Often how I prepare my own heart. I'm looking and reading and thinking.
We had students in the room, 6th through 12th graders, singing at the top of their lungs the doxology.
The engine that is pulling the train should be truth.
I like it.
I like it too.
Okay.
Welcome to the 412 podcast. I'm Jeremy Davis, and I'm excited that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about our media ministry and some of the various ways that that it's involved in our church, in the life of our church, and the things that it does. And I want to welcome the one and only, John Riley Ausmus. How are you?
Great. How
Good.
about you?
I'm very good. John Riley, as our listeners may know, is our director of media here at First Baptist Mustang. We're very grateful for his ministry and grateful for all that he does behind the scenes. Recently, we were at the Shepherd's Conference. There are a handful of our guys out there, and we had some people reach out at various times. One said something to Michael about using his sermons, Michael's sermons, like a commentary, as he was preaching through a book of the Bible at his church. He's a young pastor, new in ministry, and he was talking about how helpful his sermons were to him as he's trying to do ministry and learning how to preach and do all those things. And immediately we were reminded of how invaluable your ministry is to the church. So we're grateful for that. So tell me real quick, how long have you been here at First Baptist Mustang?
Been here for about a year and a half now.
Okay, year and a half. All right. So when I think about media ministry, I am reminded of Romans 10. And in it, in verse 14, it says, "How then will they call on him who they have not believed? And how do they believe in who they have never heard? And how are they to hear without someone preaching?" And in our world today, a prominent way that people hear the gospel is through the media ministries of churches. And I think it's very important when you think about a Bible-believing church and a church that is faithfully preaching the gospel. This is a way that people do hear this message, and you are a big part of that. So tell me briefly, when you think about media ministry, live streaming, mixing sounds, the audio, all that stuff that is involved in it. Is there maybe a mission or a motive or something kind of in your life that's kind of like your guidepost that you're kind of running after? You're kind of keeping you focused on what it is that you do week to week.
Yeah, for sure. The main mission, I would say, of the media ministry as a whole is to proclaim the gospel in an online setting.
Yeah.
For the betterment of online viewers.
Right.
And we mostly do this for our homebound members or people that can't make it for sick reasons. They're on trips or something.
Right.
But as you mentioned, it's also very helpful for people that are considering moving to our church, want to get a feel of what it's like, what worship's like, what the preaching is like before they actually visit. It's a good way for them to get a gauge on what it's like here.
Yeah.
And I think doing what we do with excellence, whether it's audio, whether it's the visuals, whatever it is, it's very important to do that with the spirit of excellence. And that's something that I strive to do and something that I strive to push our team to do every week.
Yeah, that's great. And I know we've had an episode about media ministry. We've talked about some of these details, some of the behind-the-scenes things about how many people are involved and different things that are included. Just this year, I've been able to have a little bit different insight into your area of ministry than I have in the past. Primarily by going to Memphis on our Passion Mission trip that we've recently done an episode on. I got to run around a little bit with you there, help you do some setup, some things like that, and just got to see your involvement outside of our building, involved in Memphis on a mission trip with a whole different demographic of students here, different demographic of people that we were reaching. So briefly talk about the different areas that people may not realize that the media ministry is constantly working, things that you're involved in that maybe no one even realizes that you're involved in.
Yeah, that's a hard one because there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, sure.
And first of all, I do want to say thank you to our volunteers that make this happen every week.
Yeah.
I am definitely involved in the setup of things, but for the actual production itself on a Sunday or whatever the event is,
Right.
It takes a team of people to do that, and so they do a good job. But week to week, there's a lot that I'm doing, and recently I've been kind of given the position of IT head as well, and so I manage the network infrastructure along with Jonathan Pregler. He does a good job of that too, but just maintaining those systems each week.
Okay, and for the average person, you're maintaining our network.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Making sure that everyone has Wi-Fi
Yeah.
when they come in, making sure that classrooms, the worship center, other areas of the building have network connections so we can actually stream, so they can actually access stuff on the internet. Because if they come in here and they don't have Wi-Fi, for some people, that's a problem.
Yep. So I can print my sermon notes.
Yes, printers are a big thing.
Yeah, people don't realize how reliant on Wi-Fi we are.
Right, for sure.
Even our printers
For sure.
are using Wi-Fi.
Yep.
It's no longer like you plug it in and
Right.
print your thing. No, we send it to a printer that's connected to everybody through the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I don't have sermon notes unless you're doing your job.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the funnest things about my job is kind of managing everyone's workspace emails, calendars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing that most people do not realize is the amount of spam coming in or trying to get into our workspace. Just this morning, I got a spam email from a fake John Brewer saying that he needed to access our electronic directory. And you can immediately tell that's not him. But if someone responds to that, we're in a load of trouble.
Right.
And so catching those things are a fun part of my job, just making sure that no one gets scammed or anything like that.
Sure.
As far as the AVL and production side of things, making sure that small things like mic batteries are charged, that cables are taped and look good in appearance on the stage, making sure that microphones and instruments will actually go through the system, making sure that the soundboard and the microphones are patched correctly.
Right.
Because one fun story that you'll know, Jeremy, for our Christmas program, 2 years in a row now, we've had a crash in our system where everything kind of erased itself. And that's where knowing audio engineering is very important because that creates a big problem for us. So making sure that those things are patched correctly, preparing things for Jeff Landis, who is our main sound guy on Sunday, and he does a great job at making sure he is equipped to actually do what he does.
Yeah.
I do the importation of lyrics or making sure they look good on screens. I pick the media backgrounds that you see on the screen. One of the fun things there is I actually match the color of those backgrounds with the colors of the lighting on the back wall and over the stage. And I do this intentionally. I make sure that the colors are best reflecting the theme and the mood of the song. So you'll notice on like a call to worship song, something that's more joyful, has a theme of triumphant victories of Jesus, his kingship, his lordship, his glory. Those songs will have yellow or orange lights because they kind of represent glory. Green is a good color for life. Blue is a good color for somberness, royalty or meditation, reflection. Purple is also royalty. Anything that has the blood of Jesus, like this last Sunday, it'll be red, something like that. So that's a fun part of my job, doing those light.
Those are areas, those are little things that people don't notice. And probably, I would say, in your area of ministry, maybe more than anyone, I would say probably our building staff would fall into this category as well, which we have an incredible building staff. I love those guys. They do so much for us. We operate week to week because of them. But the big part of what you would do is intentionally be unnoticed.
Correct.
And if you are unnoticed, then that means everything's going smoothly.
Correct. Yep.
Which is kind of a funny thing to think about.
Yep. Yeah. It's a fun thing though. I mean, the more that people notice us, that means we're not doing something right.
Right.
And the more that no one notices us, we're doing things excellent.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We have a good team of volunteers that are okay with being selfless
and
not saying that's what we like to do.
Sure. So when you think about going on a trip like Passion or being involved in our children's ministry, there's just this morning, I ran into you down in preschool. You were running some tech issue interference stuff for our Parents Day Out program.
Yep.
Being involved in those other ministry areas, what is something you really enjoy about that? Getting to travel on a mission trip, or getting to be a part of other groups, just in the church.
For sure. I get joy out of both being behind the scenes, like something this morning with the tech issue in the preschool area when the printer isn't working. That's something that I get joy out of, knowing that other people will be ministered to in that way.
Yeah.
And then also getting to be around kids during VBS, students during Falls Creek, youth retreats, Passion, stuff like that.
Yep.
Or with our older adults on other trips. That's such an amazing thing too.
Right.
Going on the Passion trip is probably one of my favorite things to do throughout the year.
Yeah.
Just getting to go ahead of the students, set up stuff,
Sure.
stay late and tear down. That's a wonderful part of my ministry, and getting to hang out with them through the week. Assist John in his ministry. That's a wonderful part of my year.
Yeah.
VBS, I get to be creative in a larger scale, bigger than what I normally do on Sunday morning, just because we're not there to draw attention to ourselves on Sunday mornings. But with VBS and kids, they like to get a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
So we'll do some fancy light stuff. We'll get the music a little bit louder for them. So that's fun.
Yeah. They get a kick out of it. And it's fun, and that's great. And it's so neat. You get to be involved in virtually every ministry area in our church.
It's a real blessing. Yep.
And whether it is as low key as bringing a TV into a classroom so they can use it for a video or something they're doing, all the way up to major media production kind of stuff. That's such a wide gamut of things that you get to be involved in. If you had to name maybe something that people did not know about running media, let's stick to Sunday morning. What is something that maybe people would be surprised about on a Sunday morning and everything that goes into making a service happen?
So one of the things that I'll do during the week is getting ready with our camera shots, getting those planned ahead.
Yeah.
And so in Planning Center, which is where we put our songs and our order of service in,
Right.
when John gets those songs in that he wants to do that week, I'll go in and start listening to tracks, looking at the sheet music, and knowing what our praise team's doing, what our choir's doing, what the band is doing.
Yeah.
I'll vision a plan for our cameras and what they're going to be looking at and focusing on. And so during the week, I have a huge sheet that shows me, okay, here's camera 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what the producer's doing, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go in, and after listening to the track and kind of thinking what would be best, I'll go in and put something there.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the week on Sunday, our volunteers are looking at only their portion of that note. I'm looking at the big picture.
Right.
And our viewers on the live stream see the whole thing flowing like a smooth machine.
Yeah. I think that is maybe an understated thing. And if you only watch our live stream, perhaps you don't even realize the things that are going on. But there's a lot of work that goes in to make it a high level production. And it's not that we're trying to make it Hollywood worthy or anything like that. That's not the goal. But we do want to put out our best effort, and we want to strive for excellence, because we do, even in our media, we should observe a level of reverence for our God, because He is worthy of our very best in everything that we do. And so just throwing a smartphone up there that's kind of crooked or sideways, recording something random, while that may be effective at some level, we want to make sure that we are striving to do the very best that we can, provide the very best recording of the things that are going on here as we can, so we can best serve the people that are watching. Another thing I think people would probably be surprised by is the sheer number of people that are back here on a Sunday. I kind of have a little bit of a routine. I say a little bit of a routine. I very much so have a routine on Sunday mornings I get here between 6:50 and 7. I go in to the Brick, which is where I teach, make my way to my office, get my first cup of coffee. I set some things down, get some things organized, begin to review some notes, pray through some things for the morning, and then I bring my Bible in, and then I save the seats for me and my family where we're going to sit. And then I walk up to the sound booth, and I go through and I say hello to everybody. and then I'll make my way into the back room, the streaming studio where we're actually at right now, which is also where we stream everything for Sunday morning. And there are always 4 or 5, sometimes 6 people in here that are making everything happen. So you have online audio that's back here. You have the lyrics that are on the screens that are back here. You have the producer that is keeping everything running and making sure that everything's being observed and taken care of correctly. You have all these various roles. Plus, out in the booth, but you can actually see, there's another 2 or 3 people up there that are making everything in the room happen correctly.
Yep.
There's just a lot of people involved. And in the same way that we're scheduling people to be up on the platform for music and the choir and the praise team, all those things, you're also scheduling people, actually with the exact same program, to be back here or out in the sound booth to make sure everything happens the way that it should.
Yep.
I'm always amazed at how many people are here. Okay, on a Sunday, what time do you get here on a Sunday?
Between 6 and 6:15, and that varies if we have a bigger kind of a day like a Christmas Eve or not Christmas Eve, a Christmas choir Sunday, or this recently the Easter Sunday. That'll be a very early morning, like 4:30. But on a regular Sunday, I'm here between 6 and 6:15. That way I can get things powered on back here in the studio in the front of house booth. Turn all the TVs on the hallways, make sure everything is up to par and ready to go for rehearsal. So
I have our Sunday school class. I teach our Crossroads students, which is our college age class, and we have a screen and a computer and a few things. It's pretty low key compared to other parts of the building, but nonetheless, we have media in that room. And one thing I always appreciate is when I walk in at 6:55, that is all up and running and going, ready for the day. And that's something that you personally go in and power on and turn on and get ready for us. So I'm very, very grateful for those things. Let's talk, briefly just about how people who might want to be involved, or maybe they're thinking about how to be involved in somewhere in the church, a way to serve. Maybe they're behind the scenes people naturally, and they want to serve in a behind the scenes role. How might they get involved in media ministry?
Yeah, for sure. And before I touch on that, I want to go back to what you talked about, having a lot of people back here.
Yeah.
It is important that we have 8 people back here.
Wow.
Each week. That's including myself. But we have up in the booth where people can see, there's 3 people. There's a guy running sound, there's a guy manning that camera up there, and there's a guy running the slides on the screen.
Okay.
And then back in the studio, we have a guy dedicated doing live stream audio, another guy doing live stream lyrics for the lower thirds portion of the screen. We have a guy doing the other three robotic cameras back here. And then we have what we call a producer. He's the one switching the video angles. And then I'm back there calling out the shots, overseeing the entire thing. And so that's 8 people total.
Yeah.
Currently on the team, we have 20 to 24. And there's people that are in and out due to some reasons, but 20 to 24 right now is what we have. So for anyone interested in signing up, you can go to our website at fbcmustang.org and then go to our ministries tab at the top. You'll find in there a bunch of ministries that we have, and then near the bottom actually is media. You can click on that. You can learn about what we're doing, what we're all about. And at the bottom there, you can contact me, and there's also a link to fill out the media sign-up form. And so you can go in and learn in detail what the positions consist of, what you'd be interested in, how often you would like to serve. It's where our people go to sign up for that. But again, it takes a lot of people to do this. I do the setup during the week, but my work is futile if people aren't up here Sunday morning doing the work. And so it takes a dedicated team. It takes a committed team. It takes people that know what they're doing or are willing to learn how to do this stuff. Yeah. So for anyone who would be interested, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. But maybe someone who's, they don't know how to do this media stuff. They've never mixed sound. They've never done any of these things. Yep. Do you train?
Yep.
Do you
Absolutely.
teach? Is it okay for someone brand new to jump in?
For sure. Yeah. We had a student a few weeks ago that started training, and she's never had any experience in sound.
Yeah.
Now that's what she's training on.
Okay.
And there's for each position, it's different, the experience and the training that you need.
Yeah.
So those weeks may vary on training, but we would absolutely love to train people and get them back up here serving.
Awesome. Well, JR, thanks for all of your ministry, everything that you do here. We appreciate it, and everyone in our church is impacted by it in some way. So thanks for taking the time to chat with us and share those details.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yep,
It's always a
absolutely. And thank you, listener, for joining us once again on the 412 podcast as we seek to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. We will see you next time.
This podcast is made possible by the members of First Baptist Mustang. This podcast is produced by John Ausmus, our Director of Media, artwork by Olivia Travis, Director of Communications, and music by Pastor John Brewer, Worship Pastor here at FBC Mustang. For more information about First Baptist Church in Mustang, you can go to fbcmustang.org. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the 412 Podcast.